Morning everyone, thank you for joining us on our TNT, and it's Thursday all of a sudden. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Now, two people I do want to thank from yesterday. Firstly, Mero Diving dropped in, and they were very, very generous indeed. They indeed ended up here at the Chip Fair Lele Cafe, and they gave me a card, and there's a phone number in here, so I just better be careful showing this to you. But anyway, very nice card and a donation to the program. So to James, Nat, and all the other guests who came from Mero Diving in Majorca, thank you very much for your kind support of the program. Also to Jack and Diane, who dropped in. They came up to house number 3 and checked out the progress, and they reacted to my problems I was having finding a wall chart because it's all very well to have these computer software do the bookings for you, Airbnb and bookings.com, and they show you the calendars and they all work very, very well. But when you need to compare one to the other and check whether the bookings are being blocked, and you want to see how the bookings are going generally for the next 3 or 4 months, I need something physically that I can look at and stand back and see some colours. So Jack and Diane put together a wall planner for me, complete with the pens and the flute board and all the dates and the pens and turtle stickers and everything. So Jack and Diane, thank you very much. Now, yesterday we were reporting about Shane the wingfoiler, who is going to sail from wingfoil from Pattaya across the Gulf of Thailand to somewhere just north of or south of Hua Hin. Anyway, it was 110 kilometres to travel, and plenty of distance to travel there. It's south of Hua Hin. And we haven't heard anything since. Now, I don't even know if he left the beach at Pattaya. Has been some reasonably strong winds in the Gulf of Thailand, and indeed they may have delayed the journey. So the latest on the Facebook page, really no progress at all. And if we just have a look there, this is the Gulf of Thailand this morning. Was roughly the same yesterday. Quite strong northeasterly winds, up to some 30 kilometres an hour. Now that would be a good direction for young 8-year-old Shane, who wants to kite foil across the Gulf of Thailand. He would basically have following breezes all the way, and he'd be able to jibe his way across and sort of carry a few swells, and I'd imagine he'd probably be able to do it in 3 or 4 hours. So that's the situation with Shane, the 8-year-old kite foiler, who's going to try and cross the Gulf of Thailand at the tender age of 8 years old. Got a great future ahead of him, I think, but we haven't heard whether he's headed off or not. We'll keep you up to date. Good news yesterday for Pita Limjareonrat, the former Thai Prime Ministerial candidate and the leader of the Move Forward Party. In Bangkok Post reporting Pita to resume MP duty, and Pita Limjareonrat, the advisory chairman to the Move Forward Party, will retain his MP status and the party's Prime Minister candidacy following the Constitutional Court's ruling that the ITV shares he holds did not make him ineligible to run for a House seat. Indeed, it was an 8-1 ruling. The court's decision has brought relief to the Move Forward Party and its supporters, who are awaiting another ruling, which, according to some political observers, could potentially lead to the dissolution of the main opposition party. The Constitutional Court will meet Wednesday next week whether their policy on Section 112 of the Criminal Code, better known as the Lèse Majesté law, was an attempt to overthrow the constitutional monarchy. Well, the key point here, I'd imagine, will be whether they were trying to overthrow the constitutional monarchy. And Mr. Chaitawat, who's currently the opposition leader for the Move Forward Party, says they're not worried about the ruling to be handed down next Wednesday and is looking forward to a favourable one. Asked about possible changes to the party leadership, he said the party is scheduled to hold its next annual meeting in late April and doesn't mind if the party members want Mr. Pita to be reinstated as the party leader and get the position of opposition leader. I think you can basically bank that one. ThaiPBSWorld.com reporting Pita to stage a political comeback, and NationThailand.com says Pita ready to take over as PM if the political situation demands. And the former Move Forward Party leader Pita Limjareonrat said he was ready to take over as the next Prime Minister if such a situation arose. And he said, "I'm still Prime Minister candidate according to the Constitution. If anything happens in Thai politics, I'm always ready, willing and able to lead this country forward." Well, he's not even back in Parliament yet, and I'm not really sure whether he should be waiting for an invitation to form another government, given that the country currently has a Prime Minister and a working government. And Peter said the opposition whip would be asked to discuss with the Parliament President about when he can return to his duties as MP, adding that he was ready to work with Move Forward Party MPs once he gets permission. Well, things have moved quite quickly, and we go to the Calsod English Facebook page. It says the House of Representatives Secretary said yesterday afternoon that the former Move Forward Party leader Pita Limjareonrat can return to work as MP effective immediately, as the ruling by the Constitutional Court has immediate effect. And the court ruled 8-1 that Peter's holding of ITV shares didn't violate the Constitution, as ITV had ceased to function as a media organisation, apparently back in 2007. And welcome back to our Thursday TNT. Beautiful day here in Pattaya. And just to follow up to a story we did at the start of the week about the Immigration Department asking us to do the 90-day reporting online. And some of us thought, in fact, the way the story read it looked like it was going to be a new website. But in fact, the link takes us to the old website, but we've been assured that it's been improved. There's more compatibility with browsers and it will work. We'll soon find out, but let's follow up with this story from the PattayaNews.com. And Thailand urges expats and long-stay visitors to try the new and improved online 90-day check-in website. The Royal Thai Immigration Police Chief spoke about the online notification of staying in Thailand over 90 days service, according to Thai government policy, to facilitate foreigners on long visas. And TPN Media notes that this online service has been around for many years but has been riddled in the past with various problems, limited browser compatibility, downtime and more issues. Recently, however, there's been a renewed push to encourage expats to try the online system once again and reassure them that it's much easier and less stressful than it was in prior years. As we said back on Monday, there are some people who use the service and say they've never had any problems with it, and what's wrong with everybody else? I've tried it 3 or 4 times, never been able to get it to work, and the comments section seems to be sort of half and half as to people who have had no problems and the other half who just can't get it working. So we do welcome this improvement. The prior problems, says this article from the Pattaya News, had led many to previously give up on trying to submit their 90-day check-in online, leading to long waits and tying up resources at Thai immigration for in-person visits instead. And it's hoped that with the improvements to the application and service, many more people will choose to use the online portal and that it will save everyone valuable time. So this was all out of a media conference the other day, a bit more. Unfortunately, despite questions at the media conference about the possibility of entirely ending the 90-day check-in process and just utilise yearly updates depending on the visa an expat or long-term visitor is on, there are no plans to do so in the near or immediate future. There are, however, plans to allow extensions of some visa types online as well, and this is currently in testing, although won't be applicable for everyone. So perhaps in the future, when you're doing your annual renewal, you'll be able to do it online. That will be a good service indeed. The Thai immigration have gone so far with this, they've even made a video. And the nicely produced video goes through the process of the online 90-day reporting. Now, I'll put a link in the description of this video. So you can check onto that particular video and see if you are doing everything correctly, and it goes through it pretty much line by line. So I'll link to that video in the description of this video below. Time to talk tourism as we enter our fourth week here in Thailand for the new year 2024, and this from Skift. And they report that Thailand re-emerges as the ultimate tourist hotspot, according to the Skift Travel Health Index. And Thailand's taken the lead in Skift's Travel Health Index. Growth has been fueled by elevated pricing and strategic visa waivers. Not sure how elevated pricing is helping get tourists into the country, but this is according to their report, the Skift Travel Health Index, and they say that Thailand was the big winner. It finished with an index score of 101, up 7 percentage points over the previous month. And they say the government's initiative to temporarily waive visa requirements for key inbound markets has proven instrumental in the country's resurgence as the most popular tourist hotspot. And a peek into the pricing dynamics as analysed in the December 2023 highlights show that overall a trip to Thailand's become significantly more expensive than it used to be. What are your impressions if you've been to Thailand over, say, the last 6 months? Have you noticed that the prices are much higher? We know about the flight prices, but what about hotel prices? What about prices in the restaurants? Maybe restaurants you visited in the past and you were visiting now. Have you noticed a big difference? So tell us in the comments section about your impression about these elevated prices in Thailand. And nationthailand.com reporting that Thailand welcomes over 2 million tourists, generating nearly 98 billion baht in revenue. And I question that. They say that it's generating a revenue of 97.91 billion baht, according to this article. Now, I know how they can check the arrivals. I mean, there are people coming through the turnstiles and getting stamps and going through a computer system. Easy to keep account of foreign arrivals. As to the revenue, I'm sure that's just a total guess. So here are the top 5 nationalities to visit during, this is a period of January the 1st to January the 21st, some 3 weeks. And we've got the Chinese, Malaysians, South Koreans, Russians and Indians. So I just did a little bit of checking and I got the total number of tourists arriving over the past 3 weeks, divided that by 3, multiplied it by 52, so that we could estimate that if the tourism arrivals continued at this rate, we'd get around about 35 million tourists this year. Now, of course, there's a lot of variations in that, and it's just an estimation based only on the past 3 weeks, which should be fairly high because we're right in the middle of high season at the moment. And noting that back in 2019, there were 36.9 million foreign arrivals here in Thailand. And that all goes well until something like this happens. And reported on the Facebook page of PattayaCentral.com this morning, that's yesterday morning, at Suvarnabhumi Airport. And yeah, it looks like really long queues trying to get to immigration. And those pictures there from PattayaCentral.com. And Khaosod English reported, breaking, the system at Suvarnabhumi Airport is down after being overwhelmed by a high number of passengers, causing more congestion for departing passengers shortly after 1 p.m. But it looks like the problem started a bit earlier than that. We go to BangkokPost.com, reporting airport chaos as passenger checkout system fails. Long queues formed at Suvarnabhumi Airport on Wednesday morning after the biometric blacklist system used by Immigration Bureau broke down. An Immigration Bureau representative said the problem began at 4:30 a.m. when the biometric blacklist system malfunctioned, and the congestion mainly affected outbound travellers, and queues built up stretching back to the luggage examination areas. So you just got through security and you thought, oh, now I only got immigration to... Oh no, look at the queues. And immigration officers had to check all travellers through manually and use the advanced passenger processing system at Suvarnabhumi Airport to assist them with the checks. And after talks with the biometric system vendor, the service was restored about 1:30 p.m. You can imagine that frantic phone call between Thai immigration and the biometric system vendor, probably outside the country. Your call is number 48. You'll be answered within the next 3 hours. That would have been fun waiting on that call with all those people queued up, which doesn't look very good when they're talking about this. And BangkokPost.com reporting the PM keen on aviation hub game plan. And the government aims to make Thailand an Asian aviation hub and is seeking to hold talks with European countries for reciprocal visa exemptions. So Thailand giving European countries and, 63 countries around the world visa exemption. Now Thailand's looking for a reciprocal arrangement with at least the European countries. I'm not sure how that's going to go. And it says in this keynote speech at Thailand 2024, The Great Challenges, the Premier said tourism is one of the government's core policies and several measures, including visa exemption programs, have been introduced to help elevate the industry in Thailand. Now, just to be clear, there were 63 countries at the start of last year, and in the last couple of months there's been China, Kazakhstan, Taiwan and India added to visa exemption. So really just 4 countries added to those other 63 countries that were already visa exempt here in Thailand. And Mr. Saitar said the government will upgrade the country to an Asian aviation hub, an ambition that would involve streamlining immigration procedures, overhauling flights and building airports in secondary cities, and making sure your computers work at the outbound immigration checkpoint. Now, a story yesterday that really got a lot of people quite hot under the collar, and the Pattaya News on their Facebook page saying that the Thai government officials have visited the home of the foreigner with a lion cub seen in a viral video driving around in an expensive convertible in Pattaya yesterday evening. Indeed, that incident happened on Tuesday evening, reported yesterday, and it was a 4 to 5 month old lion cub riding around on a white Bentley coupe. Apparently the foreigner was absent and was communicating through his lawyer at the time. Meanwhile, the story has now gone viral globally, and the Thai government's considering changing the law to allow private ownership of lions and other exotic animals due to the incident. That would basically mean they're going to ban private ownership of these exotic animals, I would have thought. And with that, I thank you for watching. Hopefully you're a bit more up to date with things happening around Thailand. Not sure what's happening with young 8-year-old Shane and his wing foiling across the Gulf of Thailand, but we'll keep an eye on if there's any more news on that, and we'll make sure we bring that to you tomorrow. In the meantime, have a great Thursday, and we'll see you then.